Anderson Cooper, AC 360, CNN weeknights 10 Eastern.
An American hospital volunteer is being held tonight in one of Haiti's worst prisons, accused of kidnapping a 15-month-old deathly ill child after turning the boy into a zombie. That's right, a zombie. That's what the boy's father is claiming, even though the hospital says the little boy died and they have a death certificate to prove it. So keep them honest tonight. Are there any facts at all to support the allegations, or is this volunteer instead the victim of the father's misplaced grief and superstition? Or is it just the way the justice system is working right now in Haiti? Here's what we know. Back in February, Paul Wagner, known locally as Little Paul, was volunteering at Haitian Community Hospital in Pétionville when a local man sought treatment for his critically ill 15-month-old son. So this was about in the month after the earthquake. That's Little Paul right there. The child was brought to a local hospital. The hospital's volunteer security chief at the time, Jeff Quinlan, said that Wagner had nothing to do with the boy's care. Quinlan says the boy died, that he notified the father and told him to return within 24 hours to claim the body. Here's an affidavit from a volunteer doctor named Kenneth Adams, who dealt with the baby's father, Franz Philistin, when he returned. Adams says that the father, quote, said that he wanted to see the baby and confirmed that he was indeed dead. Little Paul, another one of the volunteers at the hospital, found me and asked that I be present in case the father fainted or needed medical assistance. Dr. Adams goes on to say they walked Mr. Philistin into a room and opened the box and showed him the remains of his son. Quote, the father jokingly said that it looked like the baby was still alive, but I pulled my stethoscope out and listened carefully for any breath sounds or a heartbeat, and there was none. He adds that the father took at least 2 pictures of the boy, had the doctor take a picture of him with the baby. Then, after Mr. Philistin left the room, he says he took 2 pictures of the makeshift casket and retaped the box. This is a copy of the official death certificate for Kevin's Philistin, male, signed by a hospital official. Now, the hospital then cremated the body, and according to his fellow volunteer, whom you'll hear from in a moment, Paul Wagner's only role in all of this was being there with Mr. Philistin when he returned to view his son's body. However, in March, Mr. Philistin filed a complaint against him, Jeff Quinlan also, and the hospital's Haitian administrator. A court issued summonses. The administrator and Jeff Quinlan went to court and were cleared. Paul Wagner, though, never made a statement. He left Haiti before the summons was served, fearing he might be lynched, he says. A court-appointed public defender later telling him the summons had been lifted and the case was closed. So he returned to Haiti a short time later, not knowing that his attorney was wrong and the summons was still valid. Then this Sunday, I should point out, the father spotted him and he was arrested and yesterday taken to the National Penitentiary. It's a place I've visited after the earthquake. It's one of the most wretched places you can imagine. The U.S. State Department has managed to contact prison authorities who say he is safe and being well treated. The question remains, why is he even there at all? Earlier tonight, I spoke with his colleague, Paul Sebring, who's all known as Big Paul. Paul, you just got some communication. What did you get? What did you hear?
I got communication directly from Paul Wagner about 25 minutes ago that earlier today they tried to move him to general population and that they are talking about moving him again, and that the embassy has not seen him today at all.
How is he doing in where he's being held?
From what I understand today, he was in a cell with another American and a Haitian, but in general, the prison is so overcrowded. There is confirmed cholera in there.
The father of this child who died has been going on the radio saying all sorts of things about the little boy was turned into a zombie. So you're saying he's basically going on the radio and just kind of spreading stories that then maybe prisoners are going to hear and then react to Paul about?
And not only that they're going to hear it, they have heard it. We have not had a chance to publicly try and defend Paul regarding this. Here, it's just anybody will air anything, and there's no fact-checking or anything like that. So the simple fact is that he's completely innocent. He never did anything, and now his life is in danger.
What exactly happened? I mean, he was working at a hospital where this child was brought in. What connection does he actually have to this child?
No connection at all. I was actually there the night that the child died. I was helping a doctor set a dislocated shoulder. Right behind me by 3 feet was the child with 2 nurses working on the child. Was brought in with a high-grade fever. Was very ill. We couldn't get any kind of an IV access to rehydrate it. The baby died. The baby was pronounced dead by the American and by the Haitian doctor. and the baby was wrapped up. Little Paul did nothing. All he did was bring us oxygen, bring us supplies, bring us everything possible that night to try and save this baby's life and to try and help all the other patients.
That was back in February, right?
That was February 23rd, yes.
Paul had left the country for a while, but basically came back thinking it was fine and was again doing relief work.
He left, came back, I think it was less than 2 weeks that he was gone, something like that. We're told that everything's handled in the courts, everything's fine, by the first attorney that somebody else hired for us.
Authorities we've talked to seem to think that Haitian law, the procedure has been correct. This guy, filed a complaint, filed the lawsuit. There was a summons put out. But do you think the arrest was improper?
It is not proper. He did not kidnap a child. I mean, if we proved with a death certificate and from statements from people that were there that night that were told by the hospital administration that the body was disposed of, then why are we at this point? If it's about proof and evidence, then we've given enough. He needs to be released. As
you know, there is a criminal background in the United States. A Nantucket newspaper reported that when Paul lived there, he was charged with kidnapping and assault, pled guilty to the assault, spent about 100 days in jail, more than 100 days in jail, and his criminal record apparently goes back further than that. Does that complicate the current situation? Are you concerned that that's going to be brought into this case?
No, I don't. I mean, if you look at the record on it, what did he do? He beat the crap out of a pedophile. You tell me any American that wouldn't do the same thing given the chance. You know, Paul's heart is here to help people. And that was 2 years ago. He let go of a completely successful construction business, and he gave up his life to come and start helping people.
The U.S. State Department tells us that they're looking out for Paul's welfare. They're making sure that he's safe and that local laws are being followed. Are you satisfied with the assistance that he's been receiving from the U.S.?
No, I'm not. Because if all that was being done, I would not be getting a frantic communication from him directly stating they're trying to move him to general population and that he is scared for his life right now.
Paul Sebring, I appreciate your time tonight. We'll continue to follow this. Thank you.
You're welcome.